Welcome to Mr. Moon has left the building, and I feel today's episode could be a bit highly charged.
Oh dear.
I've actually been looking forward to this one, I've got to say. Not much. I've vented a bit this week on the YouTube. We've had loads of comments coming in, like from people. Seems people have gone from hope to very angry very quickly, which I thought was going to happen. You thought was going to happen. The mood has definitely soured. Obviously, we're recording this on Tuesday. Obviously, we lost to Sunderland at the weekend in a game where we saw everything that happened last season again. What are your thoughts on the game? We'll get into the game first.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the first half we actually done all right, or it looked as though we'd done all right.
And I messaged you, and we'll both put it out there. We both said best we've looked for a while.
Yeah,
without being, but because we had a couple of chances, to be fair.
Yeah. One was perhaps should have been the goal, and it was cleared off the line. That was really unlucky. The other one was more of a half chance. I don't think we created anything other than that. And I was just, even myself, I was thinking in the first half, we're keeping the ball nicely, but we're not going anywhere with it.
We don't really do anything with it, do we?
It's as if we're trying to bore them to death. Do you know what I mean? But we controlled the game, and we looked good. We looked good, but it was as if Sunderland were letting us have the ball, and they were letting us play, and we weren't hurting them. And I think half time they must have just thought, look, these lot are not going to hurt us. Let's be a bit more adventurous. Let's go for it. And all in all, I was. What made me the most worried about that performance? I mean, the performance wasn't great, but just the defending. And I just know now that we have not got defenders who are good enough at all
for the Premier League.
They're just not good enough.
We said the same, and do you know what? It's funny. After this, and this is why I will give the club its thing on fans as well. That our fans also, me included, I'm including me in this as well. We are part of the problem at our club. Not the problem, let me tell you that. But the amount of people that have told me Aguerd is a player, like we've heard it. Tadebo's an amazing player, this, that. Alvarez, better than Rice. We heard it 2 years ago. Much better than Rice. Rice, good job we got rid of him. Alvarez is a better player. They don't. Kudus is rubbish. Well, let me just tell you, Kudus just put in some performance on his first game at home for Spurs. Kudus was not rubbish. That's why I was probably more angry about that than most people, actually. That Kudus thing really, really irked me because he was our pace. He has got creativity. And I do honestly believe last year, yes, he had a terrible season, as did everybody. Bar, Wan-Bissaka and Bowen. But I do believe it was the way we were playing, and it took so long to come out from the back that he's got two men on him. I won't change my opinion on that after seeing how Thomas Frank played him on Saturday for Spurs. So Areola was another one. Areola's a much better goalkeeper than Fabianski. Fabianski's rubbish. This and that. They're not. Souček, rubbish. And that's where our fan base, we get a new player and they're the best thing since sliced bread, just because they're a new player. And I don't agree with it. There's a reason why Ward-Prowse and Aguerd were chucked out on loan last year, because they weren't good enough. And now they're starters in our team. Like, that is mind-boggling to me.
Oh, exactly that. None of them defenders. Kilman, if he's in the right setup at the back, will do a decent job. He's a 6-7 out of 10 man most games.
Agree.
He's okay. He's not a great defender. And Aguerd's just not strong enough. For all was it all three goals? I mean, the last one was a goalkeeping mistake. But even that, the youth was he was in front of the player who had the shot, and he didn't do enough to stop the shot.
No.
He should have been saved. So I'm not blaming defence.
And Paqueta shouldn't be in that position to be the man marking.
I watched that about 3 times, and Wan-Bissaka had marked that fella every set piece, every corner, and he was marking him at that corner. Obviously, the ball comes out. It's a second phase. He's not even what looked to see where he's gone. This fella, he's man marking at every corner, and he's just drifted off like our main defenders, and it's ended with Paquetá next to him. I mean, really, what's he going to do against him in the air? Like, he's got no chance.
No.
But the thing is, the
And it was poor from him as well, but he's your creative man. You don't, in any team, your creative man is not going to be your last man defending.
But I think the point is, like, as a defender, that should be the first thing you think about. Right, this geezer's the danger man. Where is he? We're gonna. Do you know what I mean? They're not even thinking about things like that. So the first goal, he's just got in between Kilman. He's gone past Kilman. Kilman hasn't even looked, and then he's obviously next to Aguerd. And then Aguerd's just not, again, as we've been saying the whole time, he's not physically strong enough to defend across against someone. And that fella apparently has got the worst stats for headed goals in the Championship last season. I mean, but let's say it was a great header. It was right in the corner, and it was a great header. But just a bit of physicality, you're probably knocking him off it, and he's not getting such a good header on it. Do you know what I mean? So that made me just really worry and just think we're in so much trouble here. Because if they
horror show from the keeper, horror show, like, and
do you know what?
He's been thrown straight in, wasn't prepared. You've got to give this guy the benefit of the doubt. I hope now. Sometimes if you have that horror show on a debut, sometimes that could affect you, and I hope it hasn't.
Confidence,
but would we have all put him in before the game? Probably yes.
I think. I mean, on the pod last week, we both said that.
Well, we all said there's no chance he'll start. Every one of us.
Yeah, but I was fine.
Actually, when Amrit clipped that up, because it came up on the day, we all looked stupid because not one of us said there's no chance he'll start. There's no chance.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why he wouldn't have started. Like why he wouldn't have. He wasn't prepared.
I was fine with him starting. I was thinking, like, obviously,
and he made a great save early.
He made a good save early, and I actually loved how confident and calm he is on the ball. Both feet brilliant on the ball. But it goes back to the old thing, isn't it? Like when we used to say, like, we're not so fussed about ball playing defenders. We just want defenders who can defend. We want a goalkeeper who can save. You know what I mean? Can save shots. He might be the best in the world with his feet, but you can't just save a simple shot. It's all for nothing.
And it was a poor. That third one was so poor. Even the first one, he looks like he's running on glass.
Yeah, like, I think his position is slightly out, isn't it? I think, but again, he doesn't seem a very commanding, loud, keeper at all. But I mean, Leicester fans said he's a decent keeper.
And I heard Gary Lineker talk about it yesterday. He actually said on his podcast, I'm very confident that this was a blip. So let's hope.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. But it's just, it's just the worst start we could, ask for our new keeper.
And then, obviously, the starting lineup raised eyebrows, but it was kind of what we probably expected. Although we actually thought Souček would be the man, it seems Souček is not in favour.
No.
Rodriguez, which if Rodriguez is actually still in the shop window, it then baffles me why he's starting. Like, I don't understand that. And Souček's not in the shop window and he's going to be there. Why would you not have played Souček? I just don't get that whatsoever. Not that I think that's the brilliant midfield. I don't actually know what midfield is the best because I don't think Potts is much better. I would have played Potts because he's a child over... He's one of ours rather than someone who we're going to get rid of or is past the sell-by date. I'd give them a chance, but I don't think it would have changed the outcome much. I can't... What do you... It's funny, so this week I've been looking at Graham Potter. And I think there's a whole host of questions you can't answer. Is Potter the right man for this club? I think I would say no with a big but. Because if he hasn't got the players that he wanted, then maybe he's forced to play this way.
Yeah, I agree to a certain extent, and I've been. Do you know what I think? Ever since Lopetegui, like I was so desperate for Lopetegui to go. When Potter come in, for me, it was like a breath of fresh air, and I was really pleased. And I was like, I'm going to give him. I mean, I'm probably giving him more time than I would if it was Lopetegui had just come in, sort of thing.
Yes.
But I'm starting to think he's just not the man, like you've been saying, and that you're saying he's not had he's not had his players, which he hasn't yet. Surely the priority for this team was to get midfielders in. Like we could have got by without.
He was
him.
midfield and a defender.
We could have got by without a left wing back. Midfielders was always the priority. So why has he not gone out there and got midfielders before anything else?
And that's where I'll say the but. Is that but the club are saying no? And this is the bit we don't know with West Ham. And because if you told me, right, the club have told him, no, we're not buying a midfielder, then you say, I can't blame Graham Potter. I can't. If you're telling me Graham Potter's not prioritised the midfielder, then I say he's 100% not our man. And that's where I'd like to know, and maybe you will never know this, but I think we kind of did at Arsenal that Arteta wasn't prioritising the striker. So we kind of knew that was on Arteta. But we're not hearing this with West Ham. And when you look at our bench coming off, it is woeful. We had one forward-thinking player on the bench in Callum Wilson. One.
I texted you before the game, didn't I? That, the options off the bench look good. Like, what they get? No, I've got no chance. The two subs that we brought on to change the game were Souček and Callum Wilson.
And Alan Irvine.
What?
And I know I keep going on about Irvine, but I'm disgusted that he's at our club, that we're at that stage of business. Because he wouldn't be at our club if we were in the Championship. He's not good enough. We're talking about a man going to somewhere for $3 million. He's not good enough. And he's coming on to change game for West Ham. That's not a dig at Alan Irvine at all. I just don't think he should ever be there in the first place. I don't know how he's ever got there. I have no idea. But now he's coming on to change games for us, which actually throws him under the bus even more because I'm angry that he's coming on. He should never be near our club. And that's not because he's a bad guy or anything like that. I actually think he gives his all. And actually, in some ways, I'd play him over Rodriguez because I think he actually does give you more. Although Rodriguez, he wasn't terrible at the week in the thing, but the pace and everything, it's
not good enough.
We are a terrible. I've watched all the football this weekend, and we are in that 5 teams that are as bad as anyone in the league. And now what we're going to see, to be honest with you, I've done a video on this and it got big views, but Karen Brady going on TalkSport the day after Sunderland away, I think is the most ill-advised thing I've ever seen because it has riled people up so much, riled me up. I know it was booked in before, obviously. Pull out. Ruin your relationship with TalkSport if you go. Because that is not the day to go out there giving a glowing report of Graham Potter and how great our atmosphere is around our camp in pre-season. Because that's all I've heard. Oh, it's so good. I bet they like playing there at the minute. It looks like it's easy street. And they've done all this thing. There's been a certain focus on Fulkrug over because that's taken the thing off of everyone wanting a striker. That's why they've done it. It's propaganda. That's exactly what it is. And we've all known Fulkrug's not... I saw a report on Fulkrug that said he's woefully short of pace for the Premier League. And I agree. Their report said he was absolutely awful. And yeah, he wins headers and things like that. But he is, with a team with no pace around him, there's no hope for him. And definitely not Wilson. So I don't know where we go from here. What I will say is, because I'll put it to... I've looked at Spurs this year. Because Spurs were us last year. Had a woeful season. They've brought in an up-and-coming manager in Thomas Frank. Yes, they've had Champions League money. So they've gone out and bought Kudus, Paulinho, and now Eze. How Spurs are getting Eze, I do not know. I think that's a fantastic sign. I cannot believe that the other top of the Premier League are not coming for him. Cannot believe Arsenal have not come in for him. Against PSG, they play 5 at the back. Against Burnley at home, game they're supposed to win, they went 4 at the back. And in the first 2 minutes, put 3 crosses into the box. Now, they had a clear identity that they were going for it against Burnley. And they went for it and they got it. Kudus looked incredible on the right. But that's where I look at. They've made a change. They didn't go for the cheap option. They went and got the person they felt was the man. And you've seen he's been there how long? A month? An instant change with how Spurs were from last year. Their weakness of last year, which everyone said was their weakness, he hasn't changed any of their defenders. And now they can defend. So it is the system. It is the setup. The goalkeeper, which everyone said was no good last year and things like that, they look a different side. They've brought a midfielder in, which they knew they needed. They needed wide men under Frank's system because he crosses balls. And you've seen a clear, distinctive plan of what they're going to be. And I would assume when they go up against the bigger teams, Man City, they'll go to a 5 at the back. And they know that system already. So how can we have had a man that's been there for 6 months, maybe even longer? And when did he come in?
Jan?
Jan? Yes, 8 months. Nearly 9 months at West Ham. And there is no change whatsoever. No. So that's where I can't look at Potter and say he's the answer. So then we go to the club. I know you want to discuss it.
Well, do you know what? It
comes hand in hand with West Ham now. This is the discussion with the club.
Yeah, I mean, the last few days I've just been thinking about the club, and I was thinking about getting tickets for like Forest away, maybe Wolves away in the cup as well. And I'm just thinking, what am I doing?
Why spend all your money? Waste your Saturday?
Yeah, and that's only because of how the club's run. It's just made me sad, really. I was trying to think of one positive of being a West Ham fan at the minute, like literally one positive of being a West Ham fan. And I think the only positive is that we kept hold of Jared Bowen. Not being a West Ham fan, but,
No, I agree. I'm with you. I've been angry for years now.
Positive about West Ham. And the only thing I could think of is Jared Bowen. That is the only positive about the whole club at the minute. And it's really sad. And it's an absolute shambles. And I do think we're really touching on a crisis point. And if things don't change drastically, we are just going to be in free fall.
It's going to boil over soon. I'm telling you, it's going to boil over. We're going to see the Burnley scenes very, very soon.
I think it'll be worse.
So do I. No, it will be worse. And
people are furious.
So I've been thinking about it a lot. Because obviously, look, the first thing is sack the board, right? Well, you're not sacking a board, right? We've got to look at what's realistic, right? No one's coming in to buy us. Why? And then you look, and me and my brother-in-law Jay's here at the minute, and we were talking about like West Ham and Tottenham, right? Why someone hasn't come in to buy us. And he said, well, I would say Tottenham's a more lucrative club to buy than West Ham. And I sort of went, well, yeah, West Ham's probably a bit cheaper. And he said, but it's not, because Spurs have got the best training ground in the country and the best ground in the country now. So they've got he said, what are West Ham's asset values? And we actually don't have any other than the playing squad. When you look at it, we don't own the ground. Our training ground needs a huge rebuild.
It's awful. It's the worst in the league.
Worst in the league and up there with the worst in the Championship, right? Yeah. So you look and go, well, that's why obviously people are not coming in for us to buy us. So take it out of what would... Right, because look, doing a protest and things like that of sack the board, fire the board, step down and all that, but you still got to get someone to come in. Who's coming in, right? And it could be a lot worse. So let's say that. What would you like to see happen for you? Like, how can we move forward? Because I think that's the conversation. Maybe it's a much more productive conversation. Because I know family members of the board, and I will definitely say they do not want West Ham to be bad, right? You've met them, I've met them. They don't want West Ham to be a terrible team. But there's clearly something going wrong. Clearly. Like, it's very obvious to see. What would you like to see? How would you like to see things play out in the next weeks, months, years?
I mean, obviously, the first thing you'd want new owners to come in, but where they're going to come from, you have absolutely no idea. So I think it's either having some of the shareholders already, the Katinsky bloke, however you pronounce his name, or was it Trip Smith? I think he's one of the big shareholders as well. I don't know. I think that's the only realistic thing. One of those having more shares and being a bigger stakeholder, and then maybe running the club. Well, they will be running the club differently. The owners of the club need to step aside from the football side of things, even if they're going to stay on, which, I think a lot of fans would debate whether they'd want that. They've got to let the football side of things go, and other people need to run the football side of things. In answer to your question, it is a tough one, because obviously everyone just said we get new owners. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not as simple as that. It's not as simple as that at all.
And we saw Newcastle go through that battle for years with Mike Ashley. It probably was 10 years that they went through that battle.
Yeah.
And no one wins, really. They won in the end. But look, Newcastle sold for 350 million. West Ham, I think they want about 800 million for. I don't know where that price comes from. But so let's just say someone does come in. It's not available at that money, what they want. So I don't think they're going to be realistic and take that Newcastle money, which you look at Newcastle was cheap now. But also with a PSR on that, are these owners looking going, what is it worth it? Like to bring to be a club? Because ultimately Newcastle, with their owner, should have a Premier League title under their by now or been very close, because they would have been able to spend. Now, I've kind of thought about this over the week, and what I'd like to see, and I agree with you about the football side of things. Like, look, no chairman should be, unless they're Thierry Henry at Como or something, should be making football decisions, because ultimately they're business people, not football people, and they are two different things. Now, commercial running of a club to buying players and knowing what a player is very, very different things. Would the fans... I'd love to be able to sit down with the owners and the fan groups. Get a fan group together to say, how can we work together? Because, look, there is a lot of things the owner's done well in our club, of bringing, the ex-players back and things like that. What West Ham fans wanted. People like Carlton Cole have come back, Ginge. All of these people have sort of come back into the fold, which we kept that family club mentality almost. But the problem we've got is we Band-Aid everything. And we'll go, even if we went and bought two midfielders right now, real world-class midfielders, we'd start doing well, right? And everyone go, yep, this is good, but you haven't addressed any of this issue that's down here. Now, if the owners come out and said, because look, Jim Ratcliffe, right? I'll use Jim Ratcliffe as an example. He's gone into Manchester United. He's gutted the club from top to bottom. Whether it's been right or wrong what he's done, he's making a wholesale change. Like he said, it's rotten from the core. The training ground was the first thing they've done. It's done. Finished, upgraded. Now you've got a winner's training ground. We want the ground. There's a plan there. So whether what he's done is right or wrong, I don't know. But he has got his agenda, what he's doing, and he's doing it. He's cost cutting across the board, ridiculously in some ways. But he's not also saying, we want to buy this player, that player, that player. He's brought in Jason Wilcox to do that. So they've got a plan. We haven't. And we tried that plan with Steiden, but did Steiden fail? Or was it, again, we had to just keep taking what we could get? Like, you don't know. Because was there a scouting network? Was there all of this stuff that needs to be in place before you can be successful? And I don't think... You look at City. They transformed that whole area. They went through Manchester. They built the training grounds. They'd done everything underneath. They had the money to do it while doing it on the top as well. So they went through and changed that whole club. I'd like... Maybe if the owners come out and said, look, we haven't got the money of, obviously, Manchester City, so this is going to be a plan. But here's our plan. We are not going to be able to go through player sales, like be buying ridiculous amounts of players. We are going to go through the training ground to start, the academy next. Then we go through here. We're going to put in a sporting director with a scouting network, which Alex Ferguson did as soon as he walked into Manchester United as well. He said, the kids are the future. This is where we start. So he started from the bottom and then went to the top. Would you accept that?
Well, yeah, I would, because there's a plan, and that makes sense. I would accept it, but they've never had a plan. It's always been short-sighted. It's never, ever a long-term plan. And when they do make a long-term plan, like bringing these directors of football in, I think we've had Newman, we've had Zulius, whatever his name was, when Pellegrini come in. And as soon as something goes wrong, it's like, oh, we'll cancel that, and the plan's gone. Then someone new comes in and there's a new plan. And it's like, it's always so short-sighted. If we've got a long-term vision and we stick to it, yes, it might not go in the direct trajectory that we want, but, it might you take a bit of a deviation. But as long as we stick into the plan and the objective, then
and that plan's a 10-year plan.
Yeah, you can get on board with it. But we've never, ever had a plan. There's never been a plan. It's just the way the club's been run is so incompetent, and it's as if they don't want West Ham to succeed. Really, they don't want. It feels like they're more concerned about staying in the Premier League than West Ham thriving as a football club, and that's what makes me really, I guess, pissed off and sad. Is because we're not going anywhere with these guys. We're not going anywhere, and that's the bottom line. And we've just got to hope we don't plummet, because they're not gonna put the money in. They're not gonna make us a better team. They don't want us. They're not fussed about us achieving things. They just want us to stay in the Premier League. The money's coming in. They're not risking any of their assets, and that is the reality of the situation. And that's what upsets me, because we've been in the position over the last few seasons, obviously being in Europe, where we can really push on. And we had long-term planning, some good planning in place. We could have really pushed on and been up there still. But it's all gone pear-shaped because they don't even think about the planning for the future. And it's going to continue. It really is. And I know it sounds a bit doom and gloom, but that's honestly how I feel now.
That is our reality, without a doubt. It is doom and gloom. And I know there is optimistic fans out there who... Because, here's what I'll say. Over the last 10 years, to the fans that say we don't spend money, right? Over the last 10 years, I think we're the 8th highest spending club in the Premier League. So we have spent money.
But then we're probably the 8th.
Why?
In terms of revenue and money that's come in, we're probably right up there in that position anyway. So we should be spending the money that's coming in. It's not as if we're spending more than we should.
No. So what I'm saying is, right, we're the 8th spending team in the Premiership, but we're not the 8th best team in the Premier League, right?
No, okay, yeah.
So it's not been spent wisely. Now, what I'm saying is, let's just say there is no more money on top of what we're spending, right? So that's we're at our cap, right? If we spent this more wisely, not on 33-year-old strikers and things like that, and journeyman and all this thing because we've got a clear plan we've got an age range of what we bring. Look at Chelsea, how they've done it within a year. Now, look, they've spent $1 billion. We can't do that, right? We're not Clear Lake Capital. We can't do that. They've brought their age range down from 28, 29 or whatever it was, down to like 23 or something like that over 2 seasons. There's a clear plan of what they buy. Chelsea have got a clear plan of actually everyone thought they were off their like rockers when they did it, but their clear plan is they're bringing in young players that have got a resale value and they're just reselling them. Chelsea, they reckon they're going to get 300 mil in sales this year, so they'll be at net zero for this year, which no one saw that coming. Which actually, them owners now, you're starting going, okay, remember all the Chelsea fans were saying, get these guys out of our club and things like that, but they actually clearly did have a plan. But now we're not going to have that. But if we spent that same amount of money and it meant a couple of years we can't really heavily invest in the squad, the training ground is 100% needs to be done. It's been needed to be done for 20 years. So that has to be done. And I think if the owners come out and communicated that with the fan base, I think people will be on board. I really do. And
of course,
we're going to try and get a better academy with homegrown players, which we'd all love. Because I think mostly West Ham fans are realistic. We want someone that resembles us in the team, a team that fights, and we compete. We don't have to finish in the top half. We're not competing. In the last couple of years, we don't compete in games. We turn up and like Mike said yesterday, like he was upset that players didn't go over and clap the fans. Like, that for me is so irrelevant of a fan, like some guy who hasn't done anything or been absolutely useless for seasons coming over to clap. I actually think it's more of a piss take than anything.
I know you think it's more of an insult, but I do think like they've travelled all that way and they've served up that shit.
I do agree.
At least the knowledge, yeah.
But there's bigger things. But that shows you we've got the wrong people at our club with the wrong attitudes.
Yeah, exactly.
Stinks. And they shouldn't be there.
Exactly that. And there's hardly any players in that squad who you like, really. And
none. Bowen is the only one. And I said this on YouTube. Whenever I talk, take Bowen out of that situation. Because he's not in that situation. If I was him right now, I'd be giving a transfer request in. Because I don't know how he's still at West Ham. He must be disgusted with what he sees. He gives his all every week. Let's be honest, he's sacrificing his career now. I know he's getting paid.
He is. But
he's much better than where he is. And he's sacrificing his career for us. And it's not fair on him either.
It's not fair on him.
But it's not fair on all the like men, women, children that go every week, give their money. The only way you stop it is stop spending and stop going. And unfortunately, it won't happen. That. But if West Ham fans stop doing it, there'd be a wholesale change.
Yeah.
Because, look, none of us want to see the Burnley scenes again because it makes our club look terrible again. But it's coming. Like,
it's definitely
I thought it was going to come last season. I really did. But that's maybe even, it's going to hit a fever pitch soon. Seeing Alvarez maybe going out on loan, no one knows what's gone on there. No one. No one understands why he doesn't play. No one understands, has he really fallen out with 3 managers? No one has a clue. And I think West Ham's just appointed a head of communications this week, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Funny that they've appointed it this week. Again, I believe because they know what's coming. Like, it is hitting fever pitch now. And
it's definitely coming.
And I saw like Dan Lawless going mad on thingy. Nicky was trying to be a bit more like, not positive. Like, and Nicky wasn't backing. Did you watch the episode? Like Dan's one of them people that he just sat the ball. And unfortunately, it doesn't. That's not going to work. Like,
it's not as easy as that.
It's not. That doesn't work. So I think as a club, we've got to look down and go, how do we make it? How can we get this better between us all? Like, how can the fans be happy and them?
I just honestly do not know. Like that, and that's what makes me so upset, sort of thing. Just because I can't see how we're getting out of this. Honestly cannot see how we're getting out of this. Because you've got Karen Brady the next day after that result, just talking absolute PR bollocks that none of our fans want to hear.
It was bollocks, complete bollocks. Because Graham Potter was her choice, saying what a great man Graham Potter with, and everyone's with him, and he's brilliant, and he's that, and he's gonna. We hope he'll get us out of it. That was the word, hope.
Yeah.
Because that's being lined up for when he gets canned. Oh, well, he didn't. Not he will get us out of it. Like, why she went on that show, especially the fact that West Ham fans absolutely despise her. Like, in actual fact, she's probably the most despised at the club.
Yeah.
And going on TalkSport to talk about West Ham is not the thing to do. It really isn't. You don't see other owners on there. On TalkSport. Like, I understand, like, I don't know, it's a radio. You wouldn't see Daniel Levy go on TalkSport.
I also think if you are going to do it, I think it's an opportunity to try and, speak to the fans, try and get them on top. But it's just, it's like they don't care what we think.
And that was it. If she come on and said, we are disgusted at how we played yesterday. We are reimbursing all them people that came to Sunderland because we are not having that. This is not this. If this team does not perform, we will go out and we will replace them. Now, if your owner come out and said that, you go, all right, I'm with you. You're with me. But it wasn't. It was a PR disaster going on that. And no wonder they've gone and brought in a communications person as of the day after. And that made me so mad, that interview, because it was just rubbish, what they were saying. What about when she said that actually the worst part of that interview, when they said about West Ham's midfield, and she said, I think anyone who can see knows where we're looking. Well, why? Basically, you've just slagged off your midfield, right? Which I get. But if you knew it, why haven't we got it? We haven't gone out and got that. That is where there is no planning in this sense. We could tell from the first game of last season how, actually, since Declan Rice went, that there is a huge problem in our midfield. Huge. We're getting walked over. In actual fact, you could see it mostly in that Chelsea game, which was one of the first games of last season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When that ball walked through and plays through to Jackson, Alvarez was all over the place. He was playing in like a back three at the time. And then, so you could see the problems there and then that day. They should have been looking there and then for midfield options for this year. But now we are going the old scattergun approach to get anybody. Just to appease the fans. And then, so I suppose the last bit we'll talk about is the phantom bids are back again. Andre Santos, this week, apparently we're putting a £45 million bid after the Sunderland game. Funny enough, it wasn't a player I even knew who he was. I had no idea, but he played this weekend for Chelsea. It was the only time I didn't know who he was. I was thinking, who is this guy? He's 18, £45 million bid, and Chelsea have basically said, go away. He's not even for sale, didn't they? So goes back to your point about John Duran. There's 45 mil there for a midfielder all of a sudden. Where's that come from? Don't make sense, does it?
They just think we're stupid, Sam, and it's just blow. It just feels like blow after blow after blow. Like this Alvarez meant to be going out on loan. He's probably our only
sellable asset.
One of our only sellable assets, and he's going on loan.
With no obligation to buy.
It's not even an obligation.
So he goes there and has a bad season, like Vlasic did, or Cornet. Cornet, we haven't even heard of him. But like, why is Cornet not on the bench the other day?
No idea.
I know he's not good enough, but
he's a forward.
What's happened to Callum Marshall?
I think he got a knock. I know Guilherme's broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
I think he got a knock, Callum Marshall. I think.
So that's why he's not there.
He didn't. I don't think he played for the under-21s last night either. I think he's
right. Okay. But Alvarez, that makes no sense whatsoever.
We are a Jared Bowen long-term injury away from relegation at the minute.
For me, it's now done. I don't think we get out. First time this Leeds won, Sunderland won. Straight away. Leeds looked good last night.
Leeds looked all right, didn't they?
Did look all right.
Looked all right.
Everton, I'd be worried if I was an Everton fan. Thought they looked very poor again.
Yeah.
Haven't changed that team, haven't brought people in. That just sums it up. They're very similar to West Ham. Same sort of club. Yeah. All the same problems.
Yeah, if you're not moving forwards, you're going backwards. Do you know what I mean? And like
they have brought a couple of midfielders in Grealish and Dewsbury Hall, but nothing. Their backline's still the same. They don't look good enough. They looked poor. Striker. What are we doing up front? Like, we need two midfielders, a centre half, arguably two centre halves, and a striker.
We need someone else who can score goals because we're in big trouble.
Yeah, and we are in big trouble at the back.
Yeah, they're just not. Tadibo, he's like a vibes man. Tadibo, he's just all about the vibes and the messing around in the training ground. He's not. I'll probably give him a bit more stick than most people, but I just do not.
No, I think he's useless. I think he's useless. When he comes out with them socks rolled down as well, like that pisses me off even more. Have a look at the fucking picture of Bobby Moore and be a representation of that. That's what our club used to be. Yeah. Like, not socks down the ankles and all that, like walking out with the ball like you're Pele. Like, he's useless.
That Sunderland defender, Dan Bullard, who scored that goal. He was the epitome of everything you want from your centre half.
Craig Dawson,
bullied Fulcrum the whole game, won everything. You know,
big unit.
His life depends on it. Cleared that one off the line, didn't he?
That was the changing point in that game when he cleared that off the line.
Yeah,
it was a brilliant, because the keeper was beat. That was from Diouf, wasn't it? Which was a great move from West Ham.
Yeah, it was a really good move.
But it's exactly that. Aguerd, useless. I don't care what anyone told me. People tell me he was going to Real Madrid again. I said you're off your absolute rocker. He's useless. He's not good enough for the Premier League. He'll go out to Spain and do all right. I agree.
Yeah.
Alvarez will go out to Fenerbahce and do all right. He will. Yeah. Like Tadibo, go out to France and do all right. But he ain't paying for PSG. Let me tell you. And they're average. They're good players around the world. They're average, below average. They haven't got the pace or the physicality for the Premier League. They haven't. Yeah, or even
simply not.
And Tadibo, I don't think he's got the attitude for it. And he showed he fell out. He had a row with Lopetegui, you know, like, I don't know. I think that, as you say, Mavropanos, at least he gives you that bit more, but he's not good enough. Not good enough for the Premier League either. No. And he's our only backup centre-half. We're a terrible team that should have been relegated last year, and we've bought backup players for this season. I don't actually know if a couple of signings will even do it for us, because he's obviously only got one plan, because we've not seen any other formation, which means if we're going to try it, we'll be tinkering with formations now. It'll be a trial and error, because we've done none of it in pre-season when we said give Potter time. Didn't see a 4-3-3, which suits us better, although it doesn't, because our defence is so bad. But going forward, it gives you that bit more pace. But maybe if we didn't play out from the back, maybe we would be a bit better as well. So that's on Potter. Yeah,
no, it is. And yeah, I've started to realise more and more that he's got a lot to answer for. I think Friday could be pretty toxic. It's a Friday night. People are going to be boozed up. If Chelsea do a number on us, the fans are not going to be happy.
You know what
at all.
the worst bit is? I want Chelsea to do a number on us. Because
No,
that's
and
where you're hoping that
kind
change is going to... And that's where our club is at. We know change comes if we get beat. And they're like, well, we're not a club that sacks managers. Well, maybe we fucking should be because they're not good enough. But we employ the unemployable.
It's just, and even that, it's just an absolute joke.
The cheap option. The cheap option that costs you millions and millions in the long run. Get in the old cheapie, give him a load of money to spend. Then the man who actually will ever come in and maybe who's a good manager goes, well, what can I work with? Who would you make the West Ham manager?
Well, and this is the thing, like, it's so hard. One, who would want to come? Who's out there who would want to come? But the other thing is, like, we shouldn't know that. They should have people in place.
I agree with you.
I
didn't know Areola. I didn't know.
I've never heard of him before.
Hurtsela.
Do you know what I mean? So they're
Zerbery.
They're all out there, and you've just got to find them. But we've got no one in place who's even looking at things like this. I'd imagine.
Javi Alonso, Cesc Fabregas. No one knew they were there.
This is what I mean. But we've got no chance of employing someone like that. An up and coming rising star, because you just haven't got the people in the place to find it.
You don't think they'd do Sean Dyche, do you?
Oh, they definitely would do Sean Dyche. If it meant they thought he was going to keep us up, they would 100% do Sean Dyche. Even if it's like a short-term deal, whatever. Look, Sam, they don't care about the fans. They don't care about the fans. They will bring in whatever it is to stay there.
I think I would personally burn that stadium to the ground if that happened. Like that would be the end of me with West Ham. That would finish my support for the club. I couldn't support it anymore. I'd go and actually support another team. Weirdly, it's like, and I'm like that a bit at the moment.
Oh, mate, I'm with you. 100%. There's nothing to like.
What I realise is I love it too much. I love them too much that it affects my life too much.
Yeah. Exactly. And that's exactly how I feel as well.
And I feel like I can't keep doing this. Can't keep going round and roundabouts with this idiocy that's going on when everyone can see it.
Yeah.
All the pundits, everyone can see what's going on at West Ham. And it's the same every year. We get lucky a couple of years. That's what it is. We got lucky with Moyes.
With Moyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they tried to get rid of him, didn't they? And then obviously got him back, and we got lucky. And like you was always saying, he's the perfect manager to manage the shit sandwich that he's got. And he's the perfect manager.
And fans still don't agree with that. Because I've been hounded on the comments of like Moyes was part of the fucking problem and all this. No one gave David Moyes the credit of losing Declan Rice. Nobody. That was a massive loss in our team. You can still see it today. And I disagree completely. I think Moyes was the perfect manager under the circumstances. Did he have his downsides? 100%.
Of course he did. Yeah, I agree.
Too stubborn, maybe too hesitant on players, but maybe he knew he wasn't getting any money if he didn't get it right. So that was there problems, but let me tell you, the most enjoyable under West Ham that I've seen since Harry Redknapp. And the first year of Pardew in the Premier League. But yeah, it's awful. It's so depressing.
Yeah.
And I know fans, you've got your opinions as well. We want to hear them. So, obviously, if you're watching YouTube, comment below. I want to hear them. I want to hear other people. And if people really disagree with what we're saying, I'd love to hear from you. I keep saying, it's not an argument. Everyone's got an opinion. I agree with some of the people's opinions. I do see it, but I'm kind of trying to be more realistic as a West Ham fan. What can we actually get to change? And maybe if a fan group did sit down with the owners, they might see that. I don't know. No. I don't know. Maybe they wouldn't be open to it. Maybe they would. I'm sure, look, Knowing that family, they don't want to go over there and be hounded. They loved coming to the European thing with the fans as well, like because they were with us, so they enjoyed it. They're fans as well, so I know they don't want it to go bad. Like, I wouldn't want to go into my work and maybe people are going to attack me. Like, that's not. No, and also, we don't want to see that. We shouldn't get to that. We don't want to be that. Of course, you should
never ever get to that.
Like, them Burnley scenes were the dark days. Like, that was a terrible day for our football club, but it did invoke change. Yeah. And that's the sad reality of it. Who was the manager under that? Was that Pellegrini, or was it?
I don't remember, actually. No, I don't remember.
No, or was it Bilic? No. Was it that first year? Was it the first year in the stadium? I can't remember either what actually was. I can't remember. Oh, it was Grady Diangana that was the spark of that, wasn't it?
Oh, it might have been. It might have been then, yeah.
Which again, the fans were wrong. Like,
the fans were wrong.
So yeah, they made a fortune on a kid that actually never ever done it. It was the principle of the matter, but the club were right in that. So that's what I'm saying. So not everyone's right with their, like, with the players we want and players we don't want. I saw today that Vardy might be an option.
But we said that in the summer, didn't we? Like, if he's on a free, you'd probably take him. And you'd take him over Callum Wilson any day of the week.
You wouldn't have both of them there, though, and Fulbrook.
No. I mean, at this stage, we need someone else up front. I was going to say who can score goals. I mean, Vardy has proved that he can. Obviously, he's getting older, a lot older now. So
but it's another Band-Aid. Huge Band-Aid.
Exactly that. Yeah.
Might last 6 months, might last a year. And that's again. And see, that's as fans, we've been programmed to think of the Band-Aid option. Shouldn't even be an option. That should be like Chelsea. Of course not. Just look at the age of him. Got no resale value, got nothing there. Have you seen the business Forrester about to do this week? The whole midfield. Like McAtee, who was it? Douglas Luiz, and there's two others, I think.
Like, yeah, they sounded. Yeah. That's what I mean. But
where did the guy from Liverpool go? Doak is his name?
Oh, yeah, he went to Bournemouth.
Yeah, I don't know this guy, but they're all making signings. The Premier League's getting tougher and tougher and tougher.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was well impressed with a lot of the team. Like, even Bournemouth, they'd lost nearly their whole back line.
They were great.
And they were brilliant, weren't they?
They were fantastic. I've got to say, they deserved that draw. They were unlucky at the end. They lost their whole back, the keeper. But look, they went in and bought in Petrovic from Chelsea. Let's go and get a good keeper. Not one that's gone down. Yeah. Like, they've gone and bought someone from the top down. Not...
Bournemouth are a club. What's their stadium? It's about 10,000.
9,000. Yeah, 10,000, yeah. And that's what I mean. How can we not compete with Bournemouth? Or Brighton? Or Brentford?
That's what I mean. It's...
Okay, Brentford won't look good this year. They've sold probably too many. But maybe they will. Like, we should be well above them clubs. It's a joke them clubs are above us.
Exactly that.
Even Palace. Palace got a much better team than us.
Brilliant.
And actually, it's such a shame for Palace that they're going to now sell them, because now they're going to be in that predicament. Yeah. It's such a shame because they actually were just there with building something clever. But unfortunately, they haven't got the money. That's how they do it. And they're going to have to sell too many good ones at the same time is actually the sad bit for them. But how can we be below all these teams? We're a better supported club, bigger stadium, spent more money. That's where you're looking. It's the whole plan is failing. Oh,
mate. Yeah, it's very depressing, and I just can't see any light at the end of the tunnel. Really, I don't know where we go.
It's funny. I've actually depressed myself. I want to cry here because it is that bad.
It is that depressing. Like,
I've got to go to work now, and I'm I'm down already. Before we finish,
we're going to beat Chelsea 1-0 on Friday.
What do you reckon of Chelsea score?
Be the best team in the world again. I think we'll have a go for 20 minutes, and I think they'll beat us quite comfortably. I don't know whether we'll score 3-1 maybe.
I'll go 4-1. I'm going
Yeah.
4-1 because that defence can't withhold them. Now,
Yeah.
Chelsea weren't good at the weekend.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
Very boring, actually, they were. Didn't really click yet. But
No, at all.
now, what you can really hope is we, as a team, come out with a different mindset. That's all you can hope this week. If we see that they don't and they get hammered this week, then we are in big, big trouble for the rest of the season. That's what I will say. Because we know we're in big trouble, but maybe a reaction, it might have just been a first day blip. And we can put it down to, look, there is problems there, but actually their attitude might get them above and beyond where they are. They've got to go close to Chelsea this week to give me any sort of hope that Potter can turn it around. If they can't, then he should be gone this week, in my opinion. They won't, but who goes in? I've seen fans saying they want Mark Noble in. I think that is the most craziest idea I've ever seen. Man's never managed a game of football.
And I think he even wants to either. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't if I was him. There's no way if I was Mark that I'd want to be going in to be West Ham manager on the back of all this crap. But again, what's Mark's role there? We don't hear it anymore. That all went down. Why are we not using Mark to speak to, be the man to speak to fans? He's the perfect man to do it.
Meant to be one of us.
And he is. Look, I know Mark personally. He's a fantastic guy. He is that was the reason he was brought in, why it was a great appointment to use him. Don't use him. He should be the man on TalkSport doing the interview.
Yeah.
Because he knows the club.
I agree.
But he's there. No one knows what he does. No one has a clue. Because it's so poorly communicated, all of it. No one actually knows what Mark's role is. And it's sad, because he could be making a big change there. We've got the perfect man in there that could do exactly what I'm saying, is saying, get the fans together, get everyone on board, let's talk about how to reshape the club. But we don't use them. And that's where you've got to say there's bigger problems than on that pitch at West Ham.
Oh.
The pitch is the lowest of the problems, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Mate, I literally want to fucking shoot myself now. Right. Come on, you Irons.
Oh, God, please.
See you all next week. Make sure you hit subscribe on the YouTube as well and comment along. Let us know your feelings. And if you want to come on, let me know as well. Speak to you all later.